Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new league racing video on F1 2021. This is PSGL round 8 around China. As you can see right here, the standings, we are leading by 17 points, and as I've got more race wins than my teammate Danny Moreno, that means that if we both would not score any points today, that means I am the champion, as we only have got China today and then Portimao next week. So that means all I have to do is finish ahead, and then we would win the Drivers' Championship. In the Constructors we're not doing too shabby either, as we're leading by 53 points, and as the maximum you can get from a race win is 16 points of course, and the fast lap is 17. Plus a P2 finish makes it 29 points, so the maximum possible for our constructors is 29 points
Danny did a
per
1.6 is currently in E10.
So the maximum for constructors is 29 points, as the point system is different to the real F1. So yeah, if we outscore no one on a lap, right? Ferrari starting one. If we would outscore the Haas cars by 6 points, we would win the constructors, and I feel like we can do that definitely. In the background you could hear me and my race engineer Sam talk about the current times in Q1. I've already done a medium lap, as I want to qualify on the softs in Q2. A lot of people probably go for the mediums, but I wanted to try something different for once and go and start on the softs. So that's why I used my medium set at the start of Q1 and set a lap on those, but we won't have the pace to get into Q2 on those mediums. So I'm currently out on a new set of softs, or first set of softs, and I'm gonna try to get a lap together so we can get into Q2, which shouldn't be too hard. Usually the times around China are very close, so we do have to put in a solid lap if we want to get into Q2. And currently we're only P17, probably only ahead of people that have invalidated their laps. So yeah, let's get a lap together. Currently P15 is a 130.7, so we have to improve 1.1 seconds to our delta. But mediums are pretty slow on a one lap pace around here. On race pace they're very good, but yeah, on one lap pace the softs are extremely fast. Into sector 2 we are 3.3 tenths up on our previous lap set on the mediums, and as we go down to P18, Ben Sabo moves ahead of us, who had a bit of a shocker, I think so, couldn't get a lap together, so not sure if he is going for another one, but usually you only go for one push lap around China, as the lap is too long to carry 2 laps of fuel. So also the tire is very high, so yeah, that would just simply won't work, as we're 3 tenths up on Wilson Hughes, was at 130.9, and we are 1.1 seconds up on our delta, which is what we were aiming for, at least a 130.7 or 6 if we want to get into Q2. And there's still 2 corners to go. Into the next hairpin is a place we can gain a lot of time as well. On the softs this is a very mechanical grip kind of corner, so another 2 tenth gain there into the final corner. Gonna have to take this a little bit carefully, don't want to invalidate of course, and up to the line it's P2 behind Nicholas Longe.
Good luck.
We only did 1 lap as well. Here's the end of Q1, or teammate Danny Moreno and championship rival Danny Moreno in P1, and Nicholas Longe in P2. We ended up in P5, but we only used 1 set of tires. A lot of other people used 2 sets of tires. As we come across the line in Q2, you can see only me and Cedric Tomei are going for the softs. Everyone else is going for mediums. So we are going for a very risky strategy here, because the softs are just not a very good race tire. But we're planning to do soft to mediums. A lot of different strategies possible around here.
To let you know, there are lots of people on the mediums.
As you can hear Sam say, lots of people on mediums, trying to qualify on mediums. Q2 we were P1, but as you can see, only me and Cedric Tomei on the softs. Our teammate Danny Moreno in P3, Nicolas Longe in P4, Sebastian Chop P5, Michael Romanidis P6, Lucas Blakely P7, Joni Tormela P8, and our other championship rival Jake Benham out in Q2, so he's not going to make it into Q3. And yeah, he is only 1 point behind Danny Moreno, and basically also our championship rival. I didn't know why I didn't mention that before. But yeah, now for Q3 we have 2 new sets of tires, as I only used 1 new set in Q1 and 1 new set in Q2, and that means we have 2 new sets for Q3. Up to the line we did a 130.3, very poor last corner, so that was not ideal. We ended up 100 behind Joni Tormela, but Sebastian Job and Nicolas Longe did a 130.0, so very fast banker from Nicolas Longe. It's not going to be easy to beat that even on his last lap, but we're going to try it into turn 1 down to 3rd gear as we go into turn 2 there as well, short shifting to 4th and then try to keep the backhand stable, which is very hard in this very long left-hander. Very hard on the rear tires. Then up to sector 2 with purple sector 1. I don't know why it says purple, because we were 2000 down on Sebastian Job. But back to the lap now, 500s up as we go into the fast left-hander, just about not flat as we turn in for the next right and down to 4th gear, short shift to 5th and down to 3rd, and then once again very hard on the rear tires. You can see me correct on that exit as the rears are absolutely burning at this point. 200s up on Sebastian Job into the next right-hander, short shift to 4th and 5th gear, and then this is where you struggle with the back end. The rears are absolutely screaming at this point, and now they have a little bit of a cool off as we go down the straight, opening the DRS. Final 2 corners we should be fine on tire temperature, picking our braking point at 100 meters down to 2nd gear, trying to get some nice rotation here, short shifting to 3rd, and then up to the final corner where there's a lot of time because I choked it on the banker lap, down to 5th gear. A little bit of a hesitation, but up to the line is going to be 129.983.
Really
but
good work.
still a lot of other people about to finish lap. Cedric Tomei up to P4, Nicolas Longe up to the line, and he goes 129.843. And he goes to provisional pole. Danny Moreno, our championship rival, a little bit of hesitation in the last corner, but up to the line, and it's P5 for a championship rival and teammate Danny Moreno. So very tight qualifying there. Nicolas Longe with an absolute banger of a lap. So GG to him. Strategy-wise, we're looking at a soft to medium, and we're gonna be adding plus 0.9 laps of fuel extra, as we will need that. Now, after that Q3, you might have forgotten that everyone else is on mediums and we're the only one on soft. So you have to start on the tire you set your lap or best lap width in Q2. A lot of people, as you can remember, went for mediums. Now, last week there was no PSGL video, as you might know, as I didn't get the green light to post it after the incident with my teammate. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but internally we spoke about it and we're all good now. So yeah, sorry for no video last week, but now we're back for the championship decider maybe, depending on where we finish. So into the race we go. We're gonna have to need a really good start if we want to win this race, as 5 red lights and away we go. Initially a very good start, and the second phase is amazing as well. Into turn 1 we're gonna be clear of Nicolas Longe, and now we have to cover off the inside so Nicolas Longe doesn't slip down the inside here, which we do. And now we have to push really hard on this first lap to get out of the DRS from Nicolas Longe, because we do not want to help them at all on that medium stint. They are going to be faster after around 4 to 5 laps, because the softs will drop off very aggressively. Lucas Blakely up to P4, Sebastian Job up to P3. Not much has changed. Our teammate Danny Moreno down to P6. And yeah, reason I said we needed a very good start is because if Nicolas Longe is ahead, he's not gonna make it easy for us to get ahead. because he knows we have really good pace now in the first few laps on the softs, and yeah, if he holds us up, that will help him later on in the race. So very good start, and I'm very happy that we got a very good start here on the opening lap. And now we have to try and pull away, but at the same time not use too much of our tires, because those softs drop off extremely aggressively. So we have to be careful, and at the same time keep a decent pace and slowly extend that gap. And then we have to see what lap we pit, as if we go one lap too late we will lose a lot of time because the softs drop off so aggressively. Now on to lap 7. You can see 1.1 second gap to Nicolas Longuet, as Lucas Blakely is going to go for a move on Nicolas Longuet, and now they are back in a DRS. I think at some point we extended the gap to 2 seconds, but the past few laps the softs just started to drop off. So that's why Lucas Blakely and Nicolas Longuet could catch up to me. And now I have to try and extend the soft stint a little bit longer, as I don't want to do a full 20 laps on the softs. But this is the point where the softs are struggling. Interestingly, Cedric Tomei, the only person that...
Will he come out ahead or behind?
Currently ahead by about 0.1, so very close.
Copy, I'm staying out one more.
Yeah, copy.
So the only person that went for softs
behind.
as well on the start of the race went into the pits at the end of lap 7, Cedric Tomei in the Haas. So he's going for a pretty big undercut, but I just want to have a little bit better pace towards the end of the race, so that's why I decided to stay out longer than him. And now I'm going to have DRS from Lucas Blakely on this main straight, which is what I want. I want to hold up the medium runners at this point, because they have much better pace at this point, and I don't want them to gain time on me. So that's why I kind of want to park the bus a little bit. But yeah, this is going to be a painful lap compared to Cedric Tomei. He's a very good driver in the race. He's a very good race pace, as I might have said early on as well. He was my teammate back when I was at Renault. And you know, in quali he struggles a little bit, but on race pace, he's probably one of the fastest teammates I've had. So we have to watch out for him. He's probably going to go for an undercut, as you might know, and he's going to gain a lot of time on us, even though he was only P8 when he went into the pits, something like that, P8, P9. But yeah, our softs are really falling away in this middle sector. You can see front left just didn't want to grip up through that right hander, and now we're out of the DRS from Lucas Blakely, which is what I did not want. So Nicolas Longuet is desync with some people, and as you might know, what happened between me and Tonitsa in 2020 in Canada, he could literally drive through people, or Nicolas can literally drive through people, and on his screen nothing would happen, but on someone else's screen they would literally explode. Now back to the race. Sebastian Job goes for the move down the inside. I kind of wanted to let Nicolas Longuet go, but not Sebastian Job, as I want to pit at the end of this lap. So I decided to pull a little bit to the left and then keep it flat out, so I can give the room to Sebastian Job to just take his normal racing line and not cause an incident. Now onto the mediums we go. Those softs were absolutely done at the end of this stint. I probably should have pitted one lap earlier.
Probably helped Danny, so...
So yeah, I probably should have pitted one lap earlier, as the softs were just not working very well anymore. So that's not ideal. You can see Cedric Tomei pitted 2 laps earlier, and he was probably 3 seconds behind us, and he's now 3 seconds ahead of us. So that just shows how powerful the undercut was and how successful it was for him. As Philip Prechen has spun to the inside here, and his race is probably going to be over. He was on the hards, which can work as well. A lot of different strategies can work. As I said before, hard mediums can work, mediums hard, soft hard, soft medium, medium soft, whatever you want to make of it, they can all work on this track. You just have to pit at the right moments and kind of avoid traffic a little bit. But yeah, now we have to try and make up time to Cedric Tomei as we move on one lap later. I want to get some DRS from Cedric in a few laps, but he spun around coming out of the final corner. So yeah, it would have been nice if I could have used Cedric to my advantage with DRS.
Now it is 22.4.
So Lucas Blakely, the leader, is 22.4 seconds ahead of us. Pit stop is around 23 seconds. So, yeah. He went into the pits for hards, which is something I did not expect.
Point in time is a 1 minute 34.0.
And yeah, now we came out 7 tenths behind us. So we had a really good medium medium pace in the last few laps, and barely lost any time to us. And now he's on the hards. I'm gonna push on this lap as hard as possible to try and get out of his DRS. But that's not gonna be easy as these are new hards and we are slightly older mediums. But if we do not pull out, we are in great danger in the end of the race from him, because the hards will only get faster and faster compared to our mediums. So we have to try and get out of DRS now, but it has to happen in 2 corners time. And it's not looking very likely, as I went a bit wide there. Lucas Blakely only 8 tenths behind going into the next left-hander, so we're not going to be able to pull out of Lucas Blakely as DRS, and that's just not ideal, because it's looking very likely now that Lucas is going to finish ahead of us at the end of this race. So all I can do now is accept that Lucas is going to overtake us in the next few laps probably, and we just have to save tires as much as we can so we can strike in the end, or at least have a go in the end on Lucas Blakely, because it's not looking very likely that we are going to be able to stay ahead of Lucas on those new hards.
18.3 seconds, and that is Danny.
So 18.3 seconds, which means we're around 5 seconds ahead net. But Danny is going for the medium soft thread, so he's going to be very fast in the end. I did not expect Lucas to go up the inside there, but you know, didn't want to fight him and lose time, because the Eltron thread runners are coming after us as well. So just going to sit behind Lucas now for the next few laps.
Strategy is available on the MFD.
And save my tires, basically. That's the only thing I can do. There's no point in battling Lucas at the moment. I just have to accept that he has a bigger chance to win this race at the moment. So yeah, Michael Romanidis in P9, 3 seconds behind us. And Nikos Longe in P10, which is basically a net P4 for Nikos Longe. So Michael Romanidis probably speeded into the pit lane, so he has a 5-second penalty. And Nicolas went longer on the mediums, but did not manage to make the work, as our championship rival and teammate Danny Moreno has come into the pits for a new set of soft tires. So he is going to be rapid in the next 4 to 5 laps, but as you might know, softs do drop off very aggressively after those 4 or 5 laps. So it's going to be very interesting to see how fast he can catch up. He's 8 seconds behind at the moment on this out lap. I expect him.
I can't tell you again, I will tell you next lap though.
Yeah, okay. On this out lap, I expect Dani to gain 2 seconds at least, but that effect is going to fade away quickly, of course. He won't gain 2 seconds the lap after as well, unless he won't have the greatest outlaps. But you can see he's already gained 1.3 seconds in this middle sector alone, or maybe not in the middle sector alone, partly sector 1 as well, of course. But yeah, now Lucas Blakely 8 tenths ahead. I'm still saving my tires because I want to attack Lucas in the end, and I want to be able to defend from Sebastian Job and my teammate Danny Moreno in the end. But yeah, now something crazy happened, absolutely crazy glitch to Danny, where his car just somehow stopped on the straight.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Unboxing. And now I had about 2 seconds to decide if I was going to pit or not. So that was very stressful. I decided to pit for new softs, as my mediums were very old. And with Nicolas Longue on pretty fresh hards behind me, and Sebastian Job and loads of others on brand new softs, I had to go for softs, otherwise I was going to get eaten alive in the end. So I decided to pit for softs and lose track position here. Lucas Blakely staying out on those old hards. Nicolas Longue coming in as well, by the way. Personally, I think I made an absolute great decision here. I had a very little time to make that decision.
Great call.
and I think this is the best. We don't have new set of softs, which is unfortunate, but I did not expect to that I had to go to softs again at some point in this race, so I did not save any sets of tires in quali for this scenario, so that's why I went soft medium, because if I did medium soft I probably would have saved one new set of softs for the race, but I did not expect this strategy to happen, of course, so that's why I only have a used set of softs. Danny Moreno, our teammate, now back behind us, and he is still on new softs. He had new softs for this race, so he has better tires than us at this point. He only did that outlap, of course, so he is definitely less aware than us at this point. Safety car coming in at the end of lap 23, and we have to make sure that we're straight away on it, because we have to make our positions really fast if we want to win this race. Ruben Vallejo and Dylan Warren both on new softs as well, so this is not going to be an easy race from this lap until the end. Used quite a bit of my ERS into turn 1 to try and catch up to Ruben Vallejo, but nothing really I can do. You can see there's some medium runners in there, John Evans and Wilson Hughes, both on mediums. Those are going to be pretty old, but first we have to try and get past Ruben Vallejo into the next right hander. I decide to go around the outside. He just gives us enough space and we make the move work. And now next up is Dylan Warren.
They are fresh.
As you can hear Dylan say, or the race engineer Sam say they're new. And Dylan Warren had a huge moment in that left-hander, and I'm really glad that he did not spin, because that would have ended my race probably. So now through the next right-hander, I think they went 3 wide through there. Our teammate Danny Moreno up to P7.
Jobs tyres are fresh, so it's E1, E3 and E4 are used.
As you can hear Sam say, Sebastian Job on new softs as well. As he goes for a move on Lucas Blakely, but can't quite pull it off. But now we have to make a move on Dylan Warren fast, because he is on new softs as well, and we want to pass him and then straight away go on to the medium runners, who are gonna lack quite some pace here, but we have to make the move now. You can see I'm using all of my ERS possible into turn 1, down the inside, and then Dylan is gonna go for the switchback, which was absolutely brilliant from him. He played that perfectly, just went for a gap that was perfectly there, so GG to him, that was absolutely amazing. But on the exit we managed to creep ahead, and now John Evans up next on those old mediums. John is a F2 driver, he's really fast, really showed some good potential.
What happened?
No idea.
As that was desync from Nikos Longay, so Michael Romanidis could see Nikos Longay on his screen and was physically there, but
issues.
With me as well? Or?
I don't know, we'll check his screen.
As John Evans get a bit of a moment on that exit, and we try to go down the inside here. It's not really an overtaking opportunity, but now we can go for the switchback here, and just made that work, just like Dylan did to us in turn 1. But
You're still on Longay's screen. You're still on Longay's screen.
Okay.
So yeah, what happened with Longay is
another top move, mate. Really good work.
he could not see Dylan Warren on his screen, but on Dylan Warren's screen, Longay was physically there, but it was not the other way around the case. So basically, Nicolas was just driving his normal line and just blew up Dylan Warren without even knowing. It's the same what happened to me last year around Canada with David Tunitsa, where I could not see him on my screen, but I was physically there on David Tunitsa's screen. I could not feel anything, and the same just happened with Nicolas Longay and Dylan Warren. Nothing both of them could have done there. Now going back to the race, 3 laps to go, and I have to overtake Wilson Hughes as fast as possible. But as you know, those softs drop off pretty fast, and my softs were old. They were already 10% once I came out of the pits, and I did not have the same pace as the new soft runners. So not going to be easy to still win this race. Lucas Blakely is doing phenomenal on those hards. You can see he's pulling away from Sebastian Job. And now we have to try and get Wilson Huge on this lap on the long back straight, because if not, we're not going to win this race. So it's crucial we get him. Wilson missed the apex there, which helps us on this long back straight, as Wilson is going to get DRS as well, so no advantage for us there. We just have to do it on raw speed and slipstream. Now DRS opens for me and Wilson. Slipstream helps us a little bit. I decided to turn off the overtake because I was confident I was going to get Wilson in this hairpin. So I decided to save my ERS so I can have a go at Sebastian Job and Lucas Blakely in the last 2 laps. You can see I only have 35% ERS, but I'm not going to be using anything in this lap unless I have an opportunity. So you can see there Sebastian Job flashing his rear light, which means he is under 10% ERS, and that's a good sign to me, because now I will not use any ERS in the middle sector. Maybe I can make a move on the long back straight if he is still low in ERS.
38%.
Okay. As my engineer Sam is giving me some instructions on the ERS, but you can see we've gained a lot in that first sector on Sebastian Job, which shows we probably have a slightly better pace at this point than him. And Lucas, of course, still on those old hards, having phenomenal pace, so he's doing very, very well. A bit of understeer through the left-hander, following very closely behind Sebastian Job. Once again, we go personal best in the middle sector, and now this exit is going to be super important. This exit might decide the race win. It's not going to be easy to pass Sebastian Job because he is going to have DRS as well. You can see his rear lights are flashing as we still have 30% on this long back straight. We keep on the ERS overtake and into the hairpin. Sebastian Job knows he can't do anything really, as Longway goes for a send down the inside of Sebastian Job. As you can hear me ask for the ERS of Lucas. On the line we have 22% going into the final lap, purple last sector, so it shows we still have very good tires. As my engineer Sam gives me some final instructions on the ERS. Lucas at 5% less on start finish, but we managed to save a little bit more by having the DRS on the main straight, of course, so we probably have around a 7% advantage to Lucas Blakely on the ERS, as Lucas has a little bit of a moment on that exit, and now it's important that I stay right with Lucas Blakely until the DRS opens, which is not easy because all these corners are aero limited by the dirty air from Lucas ahead of me. You can see I'm struggling with understeer, trying to follow him, and that long right-hander coming up is not going to be easy in dirty air as well. I used a little bit of overtake there to try and stay close with Lucas there into the next right, and I missed the apex a little bit, which is not ideal. Lucas absolutely giving it his all as his back end steps out. Now we're going to turn on the overtake mode to try and have a go on Lucas Blakely in the last lap of the race. You can see his rear lights start flashing way before we're under 10%. We have the momentum, we go around the outside in the next hairpin. We break at 100 meters, we cover off the inside, we lock up, go deep, but we manage to stay ahead, which is all we needed to do. And now into the final corner, we're gonna win the race, but most importantly, we're gonna win the driver and constructors championship for the second time in a row in PSGL. And
Go, man.
that was probably the hardest championship decider I've ever raced, as we had to push all the way in those last 8 laps, or not last 8 laps, last 6-7 laps once the safety car came in. Very, very hard race, very exciting race, but yeah, basically we are a 3-time, or not basically, we are a 3-time PSGL champion. Only 4 other people have 3 or more PSGL titles, I think so. Yeah, most PSGL titles are by Connor. Not sure if you guys know who Connor is, but Connor basically owns the league at this point, or manages the league, and he used to drive on a pretty high level as well in F1, but not anymore. Now he just manages the league side of things. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the championship decider of PSGL Season 29. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys want to see more League Racing content. And see you guys next week around Portimao. Ciao.